Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at men share their creepy experiences from a girl. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. This one time I met a girl, let's call her Catherine, who was absolutely crazy. My time with her was brief but still haunts me to this day. I dated Catherine 3 times. The first 2 dates were great. We met up, she was always in good spirits. One of our dates went well enough that we just wandered around the city afterwards and even hit up a comic shop. The craziness started on the 3rd date, when I planned to bring her back to my place for the first time. Dinner was normal to begin with, but then she started with, "I don't even know if you're an axe murderer." I thought this was weird, but I could understand someone being nervous. Then she started asking why I was dating her. "Well, you're fun, you've got a good job, and you're great to hang around with." I mean, Catherine was nice. Who wouldn't want to date her? Anyway, she kept insisting she didn't understand why I would date her. She said she wondered if I was doing it like a prank and asked if I was making fun of her with my friends. This is where I became cautious. We went back to my apartment and things were fine for a while. We hooked up and we chatted. When it came time to go to sleep, Catherine just wouldn't. I was exhausted, so I passed out. Catherine kept touching things. She read random books off the shelf. In the middle of the night, she turned lights on so she could read books better. It was bizarre. At about 3 a.m, she said she wanted to go home, and I told her that all the trains were closed, which they were. Half an hour after that, she got into bed and started cuddling like crazy. In the morning, things just got worse. She was totally silent for a while, and I was trying to gently nudge her to have breakfast and leave. She took a piece of paper and wrote, "Are you the kind of person who will hurt me?" on it, and it was like I was in high school all over again. I'm trying my best to be nice here, but it's like, "Catherine, I've known you for 2 weeks and we're both adults. Why are you doing this?" Then we went for breakfast, which started with us picking up something at the grocery store. Catherine looked like she was in mourning the whole way there. Eventually, when we reached the checkout line, Catherine walked out of the store silently and just wandered into the street. This was beginning to take a toll on me mentally. Anyway, we have breakfast, and I tell her that I'm going to hang out with my friends. It wasn't true, but I figured this would be the nudge to get her to leave. Out of nowhere, she perks up and asks, "Oh, let me come with you." Plan backfired. Whoa, this girl. What's going on with her mood? I'm so confused. So, after breakfast, Catherine is all perky and happy and follows me back to my place. And eventually, we hook up again. More time goes by. Catherine finally leaves, and I end up letting her borrow my books. Later in the day, I got a call, and she told me she didn't think it would work out between us. I was perhaps a little too enthusiastic about this. To be honest, she almost sounded a bit offended by how fast I agreed. Still, it meant I was able to get out of the situation guilt-free, and that was fantastic. Later that night, I get a text. Catherine accuses me of dating her, so I could write an article making fun of her. Apparently, she looked me up and found that I used to write for a newspaper. I texted back, "You mean the paper I worked on in college 5 years ago?" There was about a half an hour of silence. Then I got a text where she accused me of secretly recording her and told me, "You do not have my permission to publish any videos with me." What? This girl is grasping at straws trying to accuse me of something. I just want to be left alone, and I tell her that. "I didn't do anything to you. Please leave me alone." She says she wants to meet up again and discuss it. I say, "No, you scare me." She says something like, "Fine, I don't want to talk to you either." Those dates were weird. I'm really on edge for the next few days. This girl was accusing me of all sorts of random things, and I knew it wouldn't end easy. 2 or 3 days later, I get a call from a mental hospital. They ask me if I know Catherine. Apparently, she got admitted, and they were checking phone records. I told them what happened and told them not to contact me again. So she got admitted into a mental hospital? Oh. I'm just confused at the whole story because it sounded like she liked him and then it sounded like she didn't. And then it sounded like she hated him and then it sounded like she was so bored and then she was happy again. I am so confused. I love how he tried to ditch her, but then she was so happy to come along, you know. I was forbidden to wear white socks, black only, and only if she bought them for me. They had to be removed as soon as we got in the house, as she also didn't like me to wear socks around the house. She also didn't think it was bad to flirt with other guys via text while we were dating. Oh, that's kind of weird. Why black socks, and why can't you wear socks in the house? What if you're cold? Maybe black socks because you can't see that they're dirty. I can't think of a reasonable reason why you can't wear socks around the house. Maybe because they sweep up a lot of dust when you walk and it's dirty. Maybe she just wants her house to be clean or something, I don't know, but that's still weird. That's very weird. And yeah, you shouldn't flirt with other guys when you're dating someone. What? 43 missed calls between 3:30 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. She called like basically every minute. That is creepy and scary. What must have happened? While volunteering, I had a polite and innocent conversation with a girl in college that was in some class project. I graduated some time ago. I didn't think anything of the conversation, but about a week later, I received a page-long Facebook message about how she didn't know I was married and how she felt like I was leading her on. It wasn't even that type of conversation, and I always wear my ring. Oh, delusional people. Wait, so she thought he was flirting with her? How do you think someone is flirting with you when you're just having a polite conversation? This reminds me of the type of thing when some partners would get mad at the partner saying hello to a waiter or waitress, or like to someone working there, and they're just mad because they're like, how dare you say hello to a girl? That's weird. Hooked up with a girl in a club and we drove to her place. There was also another couple that was visiting her and they slept in the living room. We went to bed and stuff got weird from there. She said beforehand that there's gonna be no sex, which was fine by me because it was really late and I was tired. So we're getting to sleep and she started making strange noises. Okay, that's interesting, so I turned my back to her and fell asleep. I don't know when it happened, but I woke up shortly after hearing that she came back into the room. I didn't see her because my face is turned to the other side of the room. Suddenly, I hear her pissing on the floor. I didn't dare to turn around and just lied there and waited. When she was finished, I noticed that she lied down on the bed. So I slowly turned around and saw her completely naked, lying at the end of the bed. That was enough for me, so I packed my things and left. Her friend was awake and saw the urine all over the floor, and I asked her if that happened before and she said no. So yeah, that was kind of creepy. This is a horror movie, honestly. That's weird. She said there was no sex, but why did she lay down next to him naked? I was set up on a date with this girl, and when we met, she knew way too much about me in advance. Like my brother's name, why I broke off with my ex, etc, etc. It was pretty obvious she had done a lot of research. This was pre-internet, the 90s, and I was creeped out about it. It didn't go well. She kept calling me afterwards, and I literally had to tell her to stop calling me. Eventually she got the hint, but it took way too long. Wait, I'm confused. How did she find out all that stuff if it was pre-internet? Like, she met his friends or something? Or she met his brother? Or like how? Because it's so hard if it's pre-internet to stalk someone. How did she know? I'm curious. When I was in college, my friends and I would hang in the student union. And in my sophomore year, a new freshman girl appears and would sit and play the piano all the time. At first it was kinda cool, but then she started playing and would just stare like a psycho killer at me. I kept telling everyone I'm going to end up as a stuffed man doll. Maybe she had a crush on him, but that's still creepy. Oh man, that's sad. When you have a crush, but then they think you're just being a creepy psycho killer. Hey. Had a girl fall in love with me in high school. She was a freshman and I was a junior. I had the same girlfriend all throughout high school and occasionally would get into arguments and take a break. Every time this girl got wind of it, she tried desperately to get me to go out with her. I made the mistake one time of taking her to homecoming out of pity. I went to drive her home and she was giving me directions to her place, which ended up just taking us to the middle of nowhere. She then started stripping. I stopped her and took her home. After that, I would occasionally see her spying on me when I was out on dates with my girlfriend. I have no idea how she followed me to see some of those places. People, this is not how you get a crush, okay? Please don't. Don't force yourself onto someone who doesn't like you. Halfway through the first date with a friend of a friend, she nearly broke down about wanting kids and how we could have kids together. I finished the date and went on my way. Then she would text me every few hours to see what I was doing and how I was. I informed her that I wasn't interested and didn't really feel anything during the date, so that made her text me only a couple of times a week. Then she started dining at my job a few times a week, always around closing, so when I went to the parking lot, she would be there in her car. Finally, I went to her place and just had a very long, honest talk with her. I think I might have been the first person to ever do that for her in her life. She didn't get mad or upset. She listened, and it seems that she's doing better nowadays. Her family was putting pressure on her about being 28 and not having kids. Even though she was a homeowner, a teacher with a good job, and lived debt-free, all of her family values was put into having kids and big families. Well, I feel bad for her. When your family is always forcing you to do something that you don't want to do, oh, that is toxic. This is kind of good because I love how he just talked to her and didn't, avoid her and look at her as crazy. He just talked to her. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!